Hi, my name's Eve Kalinik. I'm a nutritional therapist and functional medical practitioner and also an author and a writer. I'm here today to talk to you about the gut-brain axes and the link between gut health and our brain health. We're all familiar with the sensations or the concepts around gut instinct, gut feelings and go with your gut. Certainly around events like a presentation at work or the anticipation of a hot date. But actually there's a real physical connection between the gut and the brain, and those gut feelings, we could think about them as much more of a physical connection between our gut and our brain. In fact, rather than thinking about all of the sort of butterflies in the stomach feeling, we should really consider the colossal amounts of microbes that live in our gut, and they have a real role to play in how we think and how we feel. Rather than thinking about it as purely a gut-brain connection, we really need to think about it as a mindful menage a trois, which is between the microbiome, the gut and the brain. And what was always thought of as just purely a top-down communication from brain to gut is actually much more of a bi-directional relationship. And we know that our gut, in the same way, chats back to our brain. The gut is actually the only organ outside of the brain that can act independently, and it has its own brain called the enteric nervous system, and this is why it's called the second or the little brain. The main connection between the gut and the brain is via a nerve called the vagus nerve, and vagus in Latin means wandering, and it's called that because it kind of meanders from the brain to the gut. There are three main ways that our gut and our brain communicate with each other. The first one is the most direct, the quickest way of communication, and that's via the nervous system. The other way our gut and our brain communicate is via the immune system, which is much less direct, but it is pretty speedy. And the third one, which is much more subtle, is via the hormonal system, or the HPA axis, which is involved in the stress response. The main language that our gut and our brain use to speak to one another is in the form of neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers. So some of these include serotonin, which is dubbed our happy hormone. You might be surprised to know that 90% of our overall serotonin production in the body is produced and managed in the gut. The other one is dopamine, which is involved with reward and pleasure and motivation, and 50% of that is produced in our gut. The other way that our gut and our brain communicate is through the production of short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, and these are substances that our gut microbes produce when we feed them dietary fibre. Some of these will help to manage and communicate to our brain, involved in things like appetite, as well as inflammation, not just in the gut, but in the body more generally. And one of these is called butyrate, and that's really important to help our brain understand whether or not everything's all good in our gut, and it helps to kind of manage and monitor inflammation in the body. So you can understand how it is very much a bi-directional, a partnership between the gut and the brain. And it's really important for us to care for our gut and our microbiome. So I encourage you to go and look at my other video for Simprove. But the thing is, we need to think about how we care for our mind. You have to think about it like as you put on shoes to go outside, you have to think about bubble wrapping your mind. So think about things like daily meditation. It's the cumulative day-to-day things that soon add up and help to support our mind and help to support that gut-brain connection.